Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday with family and friends. Had a little gathering at my grandmother's. We've got a small crowd this year. But out of all my cars that are here today, there's the new Escape. That was a recent video. There's the old beater Lexus of my aunt's, my Benz, my dad and stepmom's Highlander. But my cousin, Zach, I have never gotten his car. And you're probably like, what the hell? This was a gift from his father when he graduated from high school, I think. Yeah, I went off to college. His dad worked at the Dodge dealership, and I think he gave it to him, and it was paid for, so he didn't complain. And it's not a bad looking car. But as we all know, the Dodge Avenger never really had a whole lot of presence, and definitely not a lot of poise. But it's a pretty good looking car. It's got a few battle scars. The black alloy wheels do help it quite a bit. We have a key fob with a few functions here. There we go. Yeah, he's got a few little boo-boos here and there. But overall, it's a pretty sharp little car. I mean, for what it is. Basic transportation. I think he said this was a 2014. Let's take a look inside. He said he had this wear mark going on here on the armrest. I told him he needed to get with Fiber New and see if they can fix that for him. It's pretty much a base model. Cloth seats, black. Not bad. Let's hop in. Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm too tall for it because I just knocked my head off. He got it in January of 15. It's a 14 model. He said when he got it, it had 6,000 miles on it. So in the almost 5 years he's had it, it now has 77,347. So he's put some miles on it. He has to commute for work. Oh, and there's a handgun. Okay. Hello. I was going to do a little short drive video with this, but I don't know if I'll do that now. With the gun in the car. Good Lord. But let's do a start up here. Little car runs pretty good. Not bad. Shoot, yeah, this thing runs very good. Nice and smooth. This is a base model. It's got air, heat. Looks like a CD player. Pretty cool phone holder there. Sirius radio. But it's pretty much just a base model, you know, nothing fancy. Just your base model. It's getting some cracking there and that as well. Let's take a look at the engine. Tiger paws. Put a set of tires on it, I think about a year or two ago. I remember he called me about them. I said, hey, just get some cheap tires. There's Chrysler's good old 2.4 liter. It's a pretty good little motor. I mean, you know, it doesn't make a ton of power, but I think it's a pretty reliable engine. I don't think he's ever had any trouble or anything, you know, with it, other than just oil changes, you know. It does its job and probably returns pretty good fuel economy. let's go for a little test drive. Okay, guys, back with a short test drive video on the Dodge Avenger. You know, this isn't a bad little car. I mean, it's cheap. It's not super fast. But it does its job well, which is it runs and drives perfectly fine. It's quiet enough. It's peppy and powerful enough. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. I mean, you've got climate control, you've got a radio. It doesn't have Bluetooth, so I would say that might be the one thing. If you were shopping one of these used, now these aren't made anymore. The last ones, I believe 2014 was the last year for the Avenger. You would have to look for one of a higher trim level that would have Uconnect or whatever Chrysler calls their version of. But I mean, for what it is, it's fair. It's pretty comfortable, and it would be a great, reliable, little cheap family car. I see these go through the auction all the time, and you know they don't bring but just one in this condition, a 14 with 77,000 miles. You know, it might bring $400 to $4,500 at the auction. That's crazy cheap. It drives fairly well, drives pretty straight, tracks nicely. I mean, the steering is actually very responsive. I mean, the car responds to the slightest steering inputs. So, you know, it's a pretty good handling little car. It's not bad. It's just cheap, basic transportation. Won't break your neck or the bank. Not a bad little car, really. Now, would I personally own one? No. I'd rather keep my 2000 Mercedes E430. That car is better put together and drives better than this thing does. But for what this is perfectly fine. For someone that doesn't know anything about cars, which my cousin, I'll give it to him, he's learned a lot over the past few years, but because he has an older, gosh, man, I've got to get a video to you guys of it. It's, I think it's a 92, or maybe it's a 94, somewhere right in there. The last year of that Ford F-150, you know, the F-150 of the 70s and the 80s, 90s. I mean, I don't know what chassis that's called, but he has one that he bought that was traded in on a new car, and he bought it at the dealer, and it's black, long bed, standard cab with 5-speed and a 6-cylinder, and it is a beautiful cream puff. He has learned about cars owning that truck. He's learned how to work and tinker and twist a wrench and how to do some things, so he knows a little bit more about cars than when he did when he got this one. I know he was just thrilled to have this when he got it. But yeah, this is definitely a car for people that aren't into cars, don't know a lot about cars. They might have been just looking for something inexpensive at a good price point. I'm not real sure if these were marketed towards people with credit issues, maybe, that were looking to finance a car. But whatever the case, not bad. I'm pleasantly surprised. But anyway, just a quick little drive there of the Dodge Avenger. with the 2.4 four-cylinder. And I guess that is just a 4-speed slush box. That's what it feels like. But it really doesn't shift that. I mean, it shifts pretty good. It's not bad. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday. We'll see y'all on the next video. Like, subscribe. Peace.